No, this is something that's all right. So people get married and they move to suburbs. Now you move to a suburb, and you would think that there's people that have moved in with their families right around you, and you become part of this social circle. And I don't even know if you guys might already know where I'm going with this. And then you social circle, and then isn't this great? Everyone starts hanging out on Friday nights, and every Friday night you do something, and then it turns into every Friday night, and then Saturday during the day you have a lot of the same activities. And now Saturday night we're hanging out. And then it bleeds into let's watch the games together on Sunday. So there's a group of like 5 or 6 couples that are getting together all the time. I think this did happen to someone you know. There's couples that 5 or 6 times, 5 or 6 couples that are getting together, and you're spending almost all your free time with them. They're literally, like in some cases, just walking into others' homes during the week. Like it's not something you have to call and say, I'm coming over. Now, what happens with that? What happens when you get people that are a little bored, hanging out with the same people over and over again, and there's this wall that comes down, and there's this intimacy that gets into it.
You wind up going 2 steps down into the living room in a shag carpet.
Absolutely. You start swinging, baby. And I'll tell you, the success rate on that is about 0.
Yeah.
Now, 617-779-0985, because I know people have done this. Now, Rich and I have a mutual friend. He might not even know who it is. It's not Crash. It's not anyone that's been in Boston that had to leave a neighborhood because it was getting so out of control. Because what happens is that, everyone's drinking, everyone's doing drugs and stuff but you're in a basement of someone's house, and there's opposite sexes, and then like 2 people will pair off and they'll end up having sex, and then like someone will fall in love. One of the 2 will fall in love. Generally, it's the guy will like get into it like way more than the girl gets into it, and then there's this weirdness, and then it never works. Like I've always told you this is that if you're like from what I've seen from a distance, I really had no desire ever to do it. But if you're gonna swing, you better this is not dipping your feet in the pool. If you're gonna swing, you got to just go. We're swinging. Like you do whatever you want.
You're saying you go straight black loofah?
Yeah, that's right, baby. If that black loofah means that we're ready to rock, then black loofah means we're ready to rock. Because these people,
there's no messing around when you go straight to the dark black loofah. If you're down in the villages,
yeah. If you're in the village, yeah. So you can't go like light pink loofah.
No, light pink's just kind of like you like to watch. And then there's, I believe, the yellow one, which is you like water sports. And then there's the one after that, which I think is the
what color is
green
water
one.
sports?
It's yellow.
It's yellow.
I would hope so.
It's yellow.
It gotta be yellow.
Well, jet skiing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
yeah, Jay, you can do that on a jet ski.
There's the green one.
Yeah, you never saw the video of.
It's where you just like to dress up like leprechauns and. I don't know what the code is.
It's the pot of gold.
It's right.
It's called the old pot of gold.
Dude, people just get weird. I mean, I will tell you this.
Didn't you have a group of friends that the line got blurred?
No, well, okay, but the closest I've got to that is that I have seen how people do get sometimes a little stranger when they move to the suburbs. For some reason, like everyone's on their P's and Q's when they've lived in the city, but when you get out there, I don't know what it is, and I don't know why it changes, but the mentality does get a little bit weirder when it comes to crazy stuff like that. Now, I've never witnessed it. I've never seen it, but I've definitely smelt an air of this is different.
Well, do you not have any friends that have gotten divorced due to
that? No. I can't think of any. No.
You guys don't have any friends that have been divorced because they were or acquaintances or know someone that's been divorced because of these like intermingling of couples?
I have not to my knowledge. No.
Really, because it's a whole scene.
I don't doubt that it happens.
It's a whole situation. I know the guy who moved, and you know him too. I know one of my good friends, like his wife ended up doing something, so that's 2. I just heard about one this weekend. That's 3. I probably know of 5 people. Now, listen, I don't have any friends. I don't and when I was married, we weren't friends with got along with the neighbors, but I wasn't like friends with them. This is like a very I know I can almost predict. I know one place where I think it might happen.
Although now that I think about it, the people who got weird when they moved to the suburbs had a hint of weird before they moved too. So that's maybe not a fair line to draw.
No, I don't think that moving to it's the suburbs. I think that what happens is it's more the age.
Yeah, and it's not against the suburbs. It's like when you are isolated. You said it best, Fred. I mean, it's like you've got the same circle that you're with constantly when you're there because you stay in the neighborhood and you do all that.
You're in your whole social scene is these people,
Yeah.
and you're people of the opposite sex, and you mix in alcohol and you mix in drugs and stuff, and like your inhibitions go down, and then you start talking. It's not even like you're having sex at the party. But when your inhibitions are down and you have that kind of intimacy with the people, then you ultimately just start talking, and then you start talking, and you're of the opposite sex, and the attraction and the closeness comes into it, and then you end up having sex, and then maybe everyone thinks it's okay, and it seems like interesting at first, but then it's ultimately not. That is what's going. It's a bit of a. We've talked about how it goes on in the old age homes, Rich. It's a bit of a situation.
Well, the old age homes, I'm all for that. Like, you go nuts. You've lived an entire life. You know, what do you got to lose?
It just seems so unappealing. It's like, I wouldn't want to bang one 80-year-old lady, even if I'm 80, let alone 7 of them.
Of course, our listeners are on top of it. I have been sent the Village's color-coded loofah chart.
So loofah, they all have very bad skin.
So if you don't know, at the Villages, which is like the biggest old folks gathering, you know, it's like one of those communities that's just gigantic. I think it crosses 3 counties or something like that. There's always arrests for like DUI on golf carts and crazy crap like that. But the way that it works is on your golf cart, you hang a loofah, and that means you're down. It's not the upside-down pineapples that you see all over the place, like where my mom lives. No. These are loofahs, and each one has a color code for what you're into. If you have a white loofah, that's for novices and beginners, okay?
Yeah, take it easy on us, which I'm telling you is a recipe for disaster. How can you be a novice at banging other people? Like, you have to say, this is what's happening. You're having sex with someone else. I'm having sex with someone else. And that's the reality. Mm-hmm. There's no baby steps. What is this? Like a nice little peck on the cheek. Come on, ladies.
Yeah, purple, it means you just kind of want to be there, but you don't want to be part
you don't want to alienate yourself from the crowd.
Yeah. There's pink, which means that you like an audience.
Answer the phone.
There is blue, which means, yeah, I'm game. Let's go. Yellow is...
Okay, so what's the difference between blue? Okay, so if blue is I'm game, let's go. Is there one that's more intense?
I was just going to ask that.
It's a lower level. It's I'm game, but let's not break out, let's not go too nuts. Let's be traditional. Let's be traditional.
Just straight biblical stuff.
Let's be traditional, right?
We're missionaries.
And then there's yellow. That's for people who want to have fun but are nervous. You're a yellow belly.
Well, that's not going to work. I don't understand how you halfway swing.
I don't know.
It just seems like I'm telling you, if you're thinking about swinging, just do it or don't. Because once it's done, it's done. There's no getting back from it. Go ahead.
And then there's black. And that's the
what
people.
What does that mean, Rich?
That is what the hell. Let's let it all go down.
What is it?
Black is for those who say what the hell and they let it all go down. All right, so that's black. And then there's teal, which means I don't care who you are or what you want. Let's go.
See, I don't
care whether you sit down or you stand up when you're using the. I'm all about you.
Okay, so they don't care. So gender doesn't mean
teal
anything.
Is just like.
All right, so there should be the gender one where we're fluid with gender. Like we'll do if it's. Same-sex couples, it doesn't matter. So that should be one. Then there should be a heterosexual one. Mm-hmm. And then there should be no. There should be 3.
So is it loofah color rankings or like karate belts? Yes. You achieve one. The more active you are. Start with the white belt.
But it is true. But there should be
black belt.
There should be 3 colors loofah. Because I never even thought of the being fluid with the whole gender situation. So there's fluid with the gender situation.
Right.
Heterosexual and no. That should be the 3, because everything else is half-assing it. Rob, you are down in Florida?
Yes, sir, I am. I'm actually a comic down here, and I have done shows at the Villages, and they all pull up in their golf carts, and half of them have a loofah attached somewhere on the golf cart.
Wow. What color is the most prevalent, Rob?
Blue is the most prevalent.
Now, blue is the lowest level of, hey,
yeah, these guys are half-assing it. Now, do you incorporate swinging into your act? Do you know when you play the Villages, where to hit them?
Yeah, when I do the villages, it's upside down pineapples and loofahs, and they usually are not happy with me by the end of the night, but that's fine. That's pretty normal. But they all leave too. At the end of a show, you will see a group of 7 or 8 going, "Are we all going back to my house?" And then they'll get in their golf cart, and then they'll disappear.
I just like how there's an odd number. Yeah. 7. There's 7 of them. Like that just
There's
means
always that one. There's always that one guy that just kind of just rolls by himself. You know, he's like, "I'm retired here, by myself. I'm a single man." And then he just somehow intermixes into these groups. I'm like, that can't be entertaining for anybody.
No, well, I mean, listen, maybe he has high value.
It's the guy using the reverse birth certificate. Like in baseball, when you try to get like an old guy to play in like a younger league, this is the opposite. It's a young guy who wants in on the oldies.
Oof.
And he gets a fake birth certificate. He's like, "Oh, I promise you, I'm 68.
Yeah.
Isn't that gross? Like, it's so gross. What's the difference between your wife at 80 and another 80-year-old woman? Just really, is it that much better? Like, oh, wow, this other 80-year-old chick is great.
So to say. So what does the black one mean?
Let's go. Hey, we're back, everybody. Here we go.
That's right.
Yeah, all right.
Hey,
anything goes. Anything goes. Hey, let's bring out the toys. Hey, Mark Davis, I'm going to tell you to do dumb stuff.
The amount of STDs around the villages, it's hysterical. Like if somebody sent me like what is quote unquote a heat map where you can see like the red dots get larger if there's a larger concentration of STDs, and like all around Florida it's pretty funny. I mean, it's like a kid with bad acne, but then the villages it's like wow.
But the thing
it's like a bomb went off.
All right, so you're obviously not wearing a rubber because you have no one's getting pregnant. But then you would figure you're always at the doctor. I mean, old people are at the doctor like every day.
Yeah.
So you would figure that they would catch that pretty quickly, don't you think? Unless there's shame. Or unless
they just don't care.
Well, maybe you could get schizophrenia and stuff from syphilis. It rots your brain. If untreated syphilis can rot your brain.
I think that's an Iron Maiden song.
Untreated syphilis on the plains of the block. His brain went mad in the battle cry.
If you saw Bruce Dickinson walking around with the outfits he wears, you'd say, yeah, he's from Florida. He's English, British, but looks like he's straight out of acid wash Gene, Florida.
Well, he's got fixing his teeth money. So he was able to Floridaize himself.